I'm going to explain to you why your message may not be making the money that you should be. I'm Dr. Dan, I'm a coach, and I'm a neurostrategist, which means I'm passionate about the brain and I want to help you take your message and make more money with it. So my wife and I were at a fall festival with our family last weekend. I come around the corner, there was a lot of vendors, and somebody yells my name, "Hey, Dr. Dan." And I stop by this booth and I meet this new business person in town who had saw me on Instagram. And I end up having a conversation with him, saw what he does, got his card. He met my wife, my girls were there. So we had this 2-minute interaction and then we went on our way. And I turned to my wife and I said, "That guy's gonna be successful." And my wife looked at me and she goes, "How do you know? You just met him. You don't even know if he's good at what he does." And I said, "That doesn't matter as much as this one thing that it's almost a hidden secret that most influencers and successful business people aren't talking about." And I'm gonna go over it here in a minute, but I gotta tell you, most business owners and entrepreneurs, they get this wrong because they focus so much on just being an expert at what they do, and they forget that the difference between them having a big business and a mediocre business is not just being excellent at what you do. I remember a mentor once saying,
"If you build it, they will come."
and what he meant by it is just be great and they will come. I got news for you. That is not the truth. Now, I'll be the first to say, be great at what you do, but don't be confused to think that that is the single ingredient that's gonna help you build the business and the income that I believe you should have and you were created for. It's why you got into this, is to build something big, build something special. But the reality is most entrepreneurs look at their peers and other people in their industry who are doing better, and they constantly complain, "Well, I'm better than them," or "I've done this," or "I'm more credentialed," or "I have more experience." That doesn't matter. There's something they have that you don't. But the cool part is you can get it. And that's what I've studied when I look at the brain and how it's wired. When you adopt some very simple strategies, you can take your business from here to here, and it has everything to do with your message. So let me break this down. Here you are. Here are the people you're trying to reach. Most of them who don't know you yet make decisions based on emotion. It is proven that the way humans make decisions is from the limbic part of the brain. It's this area that drives all their decision making. And the crazy part is, it's all based on emotion. It's not based on logic or better facts or information or data. And so what we need to do is we need to be able to trigger that part with our communication. Neuropsychologist Antonio Damasio said that humans are not thinking machines that feel, but rather we are feeling machines that think. Humans feel first and think second. We make decisions based on how we feel. So all these people you're trying to reach to build your business, they are making decisions based on emotion. There was a story of a guy named Elliot who had a tumor in his brain and he got it removed, but they also had to remove part of the emotional centers of his brain. And something crazy happened. After the surgery, Elliot understood things, could have conversations, but he could not make decisions. He couldn't make a decision about what he wanted to eat at a restaurant. He couldn't make decisions about what he wanted to do at work. He would get home at night and he couldn't make decisions of exactly what he should do or how he should treat his spouse. He ends up losing his marriage, loses his friends, loses his job, and he applies for disability. And so the disability people come to Antonio Damasio, the neuropsychologist, and they asked him, "Is this true? Is this possible? Could he have lost all his sense of decision making because of the emotional centers of the brain being affected through his surgery?" And the conclusion? Yes. Elliot became a different human because he lost the emotional centers of the brain, which means he lost the ability to make decisions. Now, why does this matter to you? Because people buy for one reason and one reason only, because they feel like it. So as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you have to communicate to get people to want what you have and to actually buy it, to follow through, to even tell others. In order to do that, you've got to know how to trigger the emotional centers of the brain. So the first thing you need to fix with your message in order to impact the emotional center of the brain of your prospects is to feel your message. I know that may sound a little bit weird and a little bit crazy, but those who are convicted about what they have actually convey that conviction to the prospect. 2009, there was research done by Jeffrey Zaks and Nicole Spear that showed with an fMRI technology, people's brains actually hear and feel a message based on the messenger. So the more the messenger or the communicator felt it, the more the receiver or the listener or the viewer felt it. It was so fascinating. The fMRI lit up at the same areas as if the listener or viewer was doing that thing. So for instance, if somebody was talking about kicking a ball, the same areas of the brain lit up as if the person was kicking a ball. They were just watching or listening to it. So this matters to you because when you're convicted about your message, you feel it, they're gonna feel it. Number 2, to reach those emotional centers is to remember that 93% of your communication is nonverbal. So it's not just about better words. 55% of your communication is body language, 38% is your tone of voice. In fact, when you're speaking on the phone, people can't see you, not FaceTime. On a phone call, 86% of your communication comes from your tone, not the words themselves, the tone of your voice. Do the people that you're trying to reach feel your message, feel the tone, and experience your body language? Because the crazy part is, sales is nothing more and nothing less than a transference of energy. Research and science actually shows this, and you've experienced this. You've had times when you've not said the perfect words or left parts out, but you still hit home runs with your sales because you felt it, you were convicted of it, and they felt it. It's that whole saying of the convinced and convicted need not say much. When I'm interviewing clients of whether I'm gonna take them on, there's 3 questions that we go through to find out if they're convicted about what they have. The first question is, why do prospects need what you have? Second question is, what makes your product or solution or offer unique? And the third thing is, what happens if they don't get it? The cost of inaction, because if you're convicted about what it will cost them if they don't get it, you start to speak differently. And the money or the time objection goes away because they're so convicted. You were able to display to them, whether it's through your words, through your body language, through your tone, that it's gonna cost them more to not go with you than to buy what you have. Back to this fall festival where my wife and I were discussing how successful this new young entrepreneur is gonna be, and I said, he's going to be successful. She said, why? I said, one reason is because he has positive relational energy. He was so enthusiastic about what he had. He was so fired up, and you could tell the conviction that he had was displayed in his tone. He also cared about people. You could tell he put people first. He was engaged with us. He had eye contact. He was excited. He was passionate. He asked us specific questions that led us to believe that he actually cared about us and not just the thing. And so I knew right away, if he has that level of positive relational energy, he will be successful. Sure, he's gonna go through some bumps and bruises and learn some tough stuff, but I'll tell you, he will be successful. And I ask you the same question because I based this on Harvard research. I was so fascinated and excited when this came out, where it showed the greatest predictor of success for leaders is not their charisma, their influence, or their power. It's their positive relational energy. Energy that inspires, enthuses, and renews those that you're interacting with. It is the most underutilized yet powerful predictor of success for all leaders. And I could say, looking back at my track record and when I first started in business, that is 100% true. So I don't look at this research and say, oh, that's great, that makes complete sense. I take it through my own experience, and that history played out for me. When I came out, I was uncertain, unpolished, and unproven, yet I had this deep down conviction that I knew what I had, I cared about people, and I just was fired up. I wanted them to know, when you're around people, that they just genuinely want you to understand what they have so that your life would be better because I care about you. That is a huge predictor, and that energy is contagious, and people may not understand it, but they want to be around it, and it separates you. And so I saw that in this kid, and I'm so excited about his future because I know that he's going to have success if he just sticks with it and is willing to grind a little bit, but he's also willing to overcome the rejection and overcome some of the challenges that business brings. He will do really well. And so let that be a message to you. Do you have positive relational energy? Are you communicating to the emotional centers of the brain? Is your body language, your tone, and your words all congruent with helping people make a decision that's in their best interest? So the cool part is, if you answer no to that and you're not there yet, it's a skill that can be learned. And it's exactly why I have this channel, to help you take your message to the masses. If you need help, that's what we do all day, every day. Contact us. Remember, It's all about the brain. Dr. Dan, I'm out.